Oh, good. You're still here. Perfect. Let's pull you back out. Well, welcome back everyone to the life of an outdoorsman. It has been 1 week since the last portion of this Broil King keg cleanup, and didn't have time to finish that off last week, so we're going to make this into the second part. And so last time I went through cleaning the whole thing out with the wire brush, cleaned it all, and then I was going to season the grates, the cast iron grate, and I looked up some videos, and the way I was going to do it isn't quite correct. So this time I got this soaking in some vinegar water to try and get all the rust off. It's been sitting there for a few hours now. So I'm going to take the wire brush to it, clean it all up. I'm going to start this thing up, get it hot, put the grate on there, and that's where we go to put the oil on to get the good seasoning on it. So without further ado, let's get cleaning this thing. I have taken the liberty to replace the thermometer. This one's not for a barbecue, but it's for a chimney. But either way, should work. Okay. I'm going to stick it back into the bath here for now. Kind of give it a rinse off. Let the acid and the vinegar eat up a little bit more while I heat the barbecue up. So once I heat the barbecue up, then I stick this on for the seasoning portion of this. I guess technically we're still in the cleaning stage. Alright, so to get this started, I'm going to leave this piece down in here, which is that piece that my friend made up, that kind of lets the charcoal burn slower around the edge instead of one big pile. And I took the drip tray out because right now we're not going to, if oil drips down in here, that actually helps it out, so we're just going to leave that out for now. We're going to put some charcoal down in here. And oh, look at that. Some less burnt stuff. Some less charred charcoal. Brush all this stuff to that side. Pile it up a little bit. Let it kind of burn around in the circle. Around this way. So let's close this up, open the vents, and get this thing heating up. Open that one up, open the bottom one up, get that heat rolling. Don't need to latch it, but kind of keeps everything straight. See you then. We get to see if this thermometer is actually going to work too. Well, this is showing about 100 degrees. 100 degrees? No, it's not 100 degrees. Let's just say I don't think it's accurate. I might need to get a new one. But anyhow, there's a lot of heat pouring out of the top of here. No more smoke, so that means the charcoal's started real nice. So I'm going to take that grill that's been sitting in there after I wire brushed it, rinse it off with the water, set it in here to dry everything out completely. You want it perfectly dry when you go to put the oil on, or else it won't work properly. So let's take this. More stuff's coming off it. Alright, let's take this, rinse it off, and then put it in here. Looks okay, eh? Most of the rust's off of there. Should look real nice once it's seasoned. There we go. All cleaned off. A lot of metal showing. Let's go ahead and stick it in here. Should be nice and hot. Oh yeah, she's cooking. Cooking good. So like I said, we're leaving the drip tray out because we're just focusing on this right now. And let's put it in here. And let that dry up. I'm gonna close this back up. Oops. Very violently. And let that heat up. We want to see about 400 degrees on here before I go to put the oil on. So now we wait again. Sorry about my voice. I got a bit of a cold. Alrighty now. Gauge is saying 200, but I don't really believe it. But even still, while it's heating up, it should be dry now. The grate should be nice and dry. So I have some lard here, and I'm going to put onto the grate, and then flip it over, put it on the other side, put it on this side. Make sure it gets over the whole thing, and then crank the heat up. Well, it's already cranked, but get it up higher, basically, than it is right now. So, just going to put this on fairly generously. I don't think I brought enough. This might not work. Whew, that's hot. That's like super hot. Need a longer thing here. I need some more lard here too. Good thing there's a big jug of it inside. Basically, this is the temperature at which the oil will stick to it, because it is where the smoke's coming off, and then all the sticky residue basically that's left is what stays on the grill. So it's okay if it drips down. It'll actually protect some of the stuff down there if it so desires. Get it all around the edge. All around this edge here. Make sure there's every spot covered. Should have wore some welding gloves or something for this. I do have a pair. Maybe next time. Alright, I'll fast forward this or something. You don't need to see the whole thing. Whew, hot. Looks like I have just enough for this side. Yep, just enough for that side. And then, whew, I'm gonna flip this thing around. Close this back up. Probably close the vents down because it doesn't need to be crazy hot. Because I think it's already, even though my temperature gauge is showing 200, I think it's well above that. And while we're at it, go ahead and give this a nice coat up top here. So I think this is cast iron of some sort. So it's going to need some protection. Just with that little bit I have left here. Just like painting. Because I did get water on this earlier, and there was like a little speck of rust like kind of on this corner here and that. So if we can get it covered and let it kind of seize on there, that'll be good too. You don't necessarily have to use your hand to move this too, so it's, you don't have to worry about getting grease all over your hands. You just kind of, flick it with the little tool that comes with it. But hey, now open it back up a little bit here, get some airflow, and I'm gonna let this. I'm gonna go get some more. I'm gonna go get some more of this lard, and then we're gonna come back and do the other side of that grate. All right, I am back with more lard. So we're gonna open this up. Oh, that's looking really good. You can already start to see the blackish color coming to it. Take this. However this works. Take it out, flip it over. Oops. It's not really meant to be flipping over tool, but it might just work. Like that. Ta-da! Actually looks like a lot of the oil did get on the bottom already, but still, we're going to put a little more on the spots that didn't get it. Here, it's kind of like right there, some. Whew! Get my hand back up again. You're not really supposed to have excess, so you're supposed to actually wipe it down, not have excess of you're not supposed to have excess oil on here, and then you're supposed to repeat this process. So I'm going to maybe rub it down with some cloths here, and then let it soak, or let it kind of burn in for a little bit, like half an hour or so, and then come out and do this process over again. So let's grab some paper towels. That's what I brought the paper towels and tongs out for, so I can kind of rub it down and get some of that excess off. So you're not really supposed to have a whole lot of excess on there. It's supposed to be more of just a light coating. So I'm probably going to take this and flip it over now. Gross. I'm going to take this, flip it back over, and then wipe down the other side. That's not working. Yeah. There we go. Now that's working. Okay. Let's take our paper towel, clean that up. Just a little bit. Rub it down. Probably can't get as much on this side because of the way the grate's shaped, but still should be able to get some there. Okay, and looks like there's actually a few spots here that kind of missed, or the oil's actually burnt right off, so I might throw a little more oil on here. Just these spots right here, kind of. I probably should just let it sit, but my OCD's kicking in and saying these spots didn't get covered in the first place, but I think they did. Okay, too picky. Let this, let this kind of season up. You know what? It'd be a good idea is to season that whole inside of that. I don't think I will, though. I think I'm just going to leave this as it is. I probably could do the inside of this pan too, actually. You know what? That's a good idea. Let's take this pan. I can set it on top of the grill. to heat it up, and then I'll just put some oil in here and kind of give that a little bit of a seasoning too, because it's rusty, and like, who doesn't like a nice coat of oil on there when it's rusty? I'll put a little thin coat while it's dry, while it's cold, I should say. This isn't too picky for how much it's got in it, because this is for this is just for like drip tray, and if you want to put the wood chips in here, this is where you put the wood chips for smoking. So throw that down there. Close this up and let it heat up a little more. Alrighty, it's been about 20 minutes, half an hour. So I'm gonna come out here and nicely darkened. That hard coating on it. This one not perfect, but like I said, this is more for drip tray and for wood chips. So I'll take this one off. Look at this. It's got that nice black coating on it. So I'm gonna end up putting some more oil on this. Let's put that down while I go set this down, and I'll come back. Alrighty. So it's looking really nice as far as the coating goes so far. So first things first, I'm going to flip this over, do the other side first, just do another coating like I did the last time. And hopefully do all right with flipping this over again. That's easier. Nice non-stick coating on this side too. There's a little bit still here of oil. Probably not hot. Probably not quite hot enough yet. But that's. I might throw a little more charcoal in here as well. But as of right now, just gonna get a nice coating again on here. That's the temperature you want. If it's smoking, you know that's the right temperature that's going on here with this. Alrighty, so I'm going to let this sit for another 20 minutes or so, come back, maybe do it one more coat, and then let this thing cool down completely. And then this should be done as far as seasoning goes. Alright, so now that we've seasoned it, or put the oil on the second time, I'm going to do one more time after it another 20 minutes or so. I put some more oil on, make sure everything's covered, keep it hot, keep the vent wide open, or basically wide open, to get that heat roaring through there. And then because it's getting dark, I'm not going to show it on camera, but I'm going to put oil on one more time, and then tomorrow we're going to come out here and we're going to cook on it. We got a nice steak, you're going to cook on it, you're going to season it up, bring it out here, cook it up, and get to eat it in front of you. So, till tomorrow. Well, folks, we're at the moment of truth where we're going to actually cook on this thing. So, I'm going to get a fire started in this, and then we're going to preheat it before we put our meat on here. So, let's start it up. Fire going. Alrighty, now that I have this preheating, I'm gonna go inside and season up my steak and get everything ready for dinner. It's gonna be good. Alrighty. I don't know if this is quite warm enough, but it's cooking real nice off of here. So I don't know how good of a sear I'm gonna get, but it should be still good. So I got my steak here. Let's just do a little test here and see how it. Oh, that's not bad. Not bad. Let's just throw it on there. Yeah, it's doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. So now I'm gonna let that sit in there. Close the lid. Get a nice cook going. Yeah, and then once I go and flip sides, that's when I'm gonna put the garlic bread on to heat it up. So I'm gonna let this sit for about 5-ish minutes before I flip it over. See you then. It smells amazing. So I'm kind of sorry it's getting dark here for lighting wise, but so you're gonna see a good shot of it once I get it inside on the plate, but it's a little too dark to get some good shots out here on the barbecue. But anyhow, meanwhile, while it's cooking, we can talk about maintenance, because once I'm done cooking here, I'm gonna take the steak off and I'm gonna take some oil and I'm gonna reapply it to those grates before it cools down, and then you let it cool down. So after every cook, to keep that cast iron seasoned, you're gonna wanna put that layer of grease or oil on there while it's still hot. Clean all the, clean any junk off if there's any stuff stuck to it, and then you put that oil on, and that should keep it seasoned. And then once it cools down, it'll be fine. You might want to avoid using wire brushes, because that might just pull the seasoning right off of it. It might be okay on stainless or something like that, but on the cast iron, you want to avoid using the steel brushes, because that'll pull that seasoning right off of it. So there's a little tip for you while we're waiting for our steak to cook. All right, we are ready to eat this thing. It looks amazing. Hopefully it tastes amazing. I don't know how this steak is. I think it's more well done on one side than the other. So if there's red, it's gonna be like 2/3 of the way through, level wise. But yeah, let's eat this thing before it gets cold. So I took a lot of photos and videos of this thing, and now it's probably cold. So let's cut into our steak right through the middle, see how juicy it is inside. How red. Yeah, it's about I'd call that about like a medium-ish. There we go. Don't want to drip all over the place, but it's got some pink down the middle. That's not bad for first time on the charcoal there. Just kind of guessed at how hot it needed to be before I threw it on there. Temperature gauge doesn't really work, so. That one's a little more on the rare side, on that side right there, but that's how I like it right there. That's about perfect. Want some little pink through the middle. Perfect. All right, let's get a taste test of the steak. Taste test time. That is really, really good. Not the greatest quality steak. It was like a $20 steak or something like that. But that charcoal, you can taste it. It's not the same when you do it on a propane grill. It's like when you do it on the charcoal, you can taste that. Put some tomato in there, onion ring, some Nugagami Sunset, thanks to Expeditions North Lodge for teaching me the Nagagami sunset. Basically just any sort of yellow juice or orange juice with grenadine. Makes super cool looking drinks, super good tasting drinks too. Dig-in time. Yes, I'm slightly overreacting for the camera, but this is delicious. It's up there with like a really good steak. It's like, I wouldn't say top 2, but it's like, it's up there, probably top 5. Juicy though too, like the juice coming out, just dripping out of this thing. Tomato, garlic bread. So I cooked the steak on the barbecue. Heated this up, grill marks and everything, barbecue. These I did cook in the air fryer. It's kind of cheating, but yeah, so tastes amazing. See you when the meal's done. So I may have slightly burnt my hand in the process of making the steak, but look at it. It was totally worth it. Like totally. Well, thanks for joining me on this journey of cleaning up that Broil King keg, seasoning the grates and everything, and then cooking a really good meal on it. And I hope that you learned something. Maybe you can clean up your own grill, keep it clean, and I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you on the next one. I done cleaned that plate up so good, I think I'll just stick it back in the cupboard.